Welcome to Spark Faith with me, Dr. Kris Sargent. This show is about renewed health, rooted in truth, and restored by grace. What does finding health look like for you? Do you have a vision for your future self and a way to get there? I'm Dr. Kris, and after 33 years in functional medicine and a lifelong journey through brain health, weight loss, hormones, mindset, and faith, I know that real transformation doesn't come from willpower or white knuckling your way to wellness. It comes from gratitude, honoring your body as the temple that God created. This show is about body stewardship, not shame. It's about rewiring your mindset, your metabolism, and your spirit to find lasting health without the grind. I'll help you cut through the noise, see opportunities instead of obstacles, and finally live the healthy, purposeful life you were created for. Let's spark faith and transformation together. Spark Faith starts now. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Spark Faith. I'm Dr. Kris Sargent, functional medicine practitioner for 33 years, kind of an OG in the space, and a follower of Jesus, lover, fan. I have also, what we're talking about today is menopause metabolism, weight loss, and mind renewal. So I have walked this already. And so I know that I can be there with you in this menopause crazy. And I just want you to know that I have been there and done that. And we can get through this together. We can. We're going to. So today, like I said, we are talking about menopause metabolism, which feels like some sort of oxymoron, right? Weight loss, again, like roll your eyes, go ahead. And mind renewal. Like, yeah, foggy brain. I have no mind, right? Yeah, I understand. And so I'm going to start out with just a tiny little piece of scripture that just reminds us to not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so we're going to get back to this in just a few minutes. That's Romans 12:2. Because really, when we talk about transformation, and I picked this up a little bit last week, and we're not going to stay here. We're going to talk functional medicine today, deep. But we have to include how we think about our health, about our hormones, about our bodies, about our worth. And so perimenopause and menopause can really totally throw you for a loop. I know that. And I mean, the thousands of women that I have talked to and been with through this journey, yeah, it is a thing. So you are not crazy. And you may feel like your body is betraying you because everything that used to work for you, for weight loss, for energy, for sleep, for patience and kindness, may actually have just kind of gone out the window, and it can be really, really frustrating. And not only for you, because it may interfere with some of your relationships, but it also interferes with your own relationship to yourself. And so I just want you to know that you can be doing all the right things, right? And that scale may creep up. And if those things are true for you, maybe it's not the scale, maybe it's brain fog, maybe it's lack of sleep, whatever those symptoms you might be having, maybe it's hot flashes and night sweats, whatever that is, this episode is for you. You are in the right place. Let me tell you about somebody that you may really relate to. Okay. She's a client of mine. This is not really her name. So obviously, I'm going to keep all of that confidential, but I want you to meet Susan. Susan is 48. She's super busy. She has a high pressure job that she loves. She loves her family. She tries to eat healthy and feed her family healthy. She walks a few times a week and used to really be able to drop that extra few pounds pretty easily. And I know headed into the holidays, woof, I know we may be trying to get on top of that before it starts, or maybe because of Halloween. Ooh. Anyway, she's up 10 to 15 pounds, and her jeans feel a little tight. Her sleep is off. Her moods dip for seemingly no reason, or they're all over the place. And she keeps thinking like, what is wrong with me? So she went to her traditional doctor, who basically told her, get used to it. told her it was a normal part of aging. And I'm going to stop right here for just a second because I think what you might need a little shift, right? This is where this mindset shift might start, is what's called normal ought to be called common, right? Lots of women experience it, but it is far from normal, right? We could actually go through menopause and perimenopause relatively easily if we just shift a few things. So back to Susan, when she tries to step on the scale, her number doesn't budge. She's tried super low calories. She's tried intermittent fasting. She's hired a personal trainer. She's gone to the gym. She's worked out harder. And even though she feels like she's trying harder, she steps on the scale and it just doesn't budge. So she's frustrated. She's ashamed because she keeps trying and keeps failing. And it's really starting to take a toll on her even caring about it. And honestly, she's feeling pretty defeated. So have you ever felt like that? Whether you're in this space or you've just felt like that through your life, like I get it, but your body is not broken. And even if you're not in the perimenopause space, this episode could still apply to you. It may just give you a different way to think about some things. So it's it's simply changing. And some of those changes, you may not really totally understand why, but once you get it, then you can partner with it, right? Instead of working against it, you can work with it. And that's kind of how God wants us, right? He doesn't want to work against us. He wants to work for us. So let's not fight against it. Let's keep moving. So let's talk about why menopause changes everything. What's actually happening under the surface? And you may know some of these things already. As we move through perimenopause and menopause, estrogen, one of our key hormones that, the whole female thing, starts to decline a little bit. And although what I'm about to tell you is related to a whole other show that we're going to get to in a couple weeks, estrogen begins to decline, but our adrenals can step in and help out when they're healthy. And that's what we're going to talk about in a couple weeks. But your adrenals can actually help compensate for this decreased function of your ovaries. Your ovaries don't turn off. They turn down. It's like a volume, right? They turn down, but adrenals can help it turn back up again. So estrogen does way more than just regulate your cycles. One of its other jobs is how our bodies control insulin. Now, insulin is the hormone, it's actually a hormone that helps our body handle glucose or blood sugar levels, right? And when I talk about blood sugar, I am not just talking about the Reese's candy bar that you ate. I am also talking about the complex carbohydrates like potatoes and pasta and rice and some of the things that are even healthy for us, even our sweet potatoes and squashes. Sometimes they can really get us out of control. So I know this is a little bit complicated, so hang with me for just a minute, but insulin is the hormone that regulates your blood sugar levels. Insulin allows your cells to grab the glucose and take it inside so that it can produce energy. I know, I'm always full of energy. So anyway, here's an analogy. Think of insulin like a key that unlocks the cell so that your sugar can go in and be used for energy, right? Before menopause, estrogen is like oil or something that keeps that lock smooth and well oiled. That key just fits in, keeps your metabolism humming along. However, when estrogen drops, it's like a sticky key, right? The lock gets kind of rusty, and insulin has to increase. It has to work harder and you have to have more of it to open the door. And so your blood sugar stays in your bloodstream longer than it should. And that can lead to fatigue, weight gain, moodiness, some of the things that we associate with menopause, right? Froggy brain and weight gain. And also, when your estrogen drops, your cells become less sensitive to the insulin. So when estrogen used to help insulin do its job, it Estrogen improves insulin sensitivity. So your body's sensitive to it. With less estrogen, your body's resisting that insulin. Does that make sense? Right? Therefore, it's called insulin resistance. Sugar stays in your bloodstream, giving that sugar more of a chance to go to your liver and turn into higher triglycerides, higher cholesterol, and frankly, more fat depositing on all those places that you probably don't want it, particularly belly fat. And that's no, we probably know, right, that that is not the healthy place for fat. So that's why, I hear a lot of women saying, I didn't change anything, but my whole body is completely different. What happened? So you just need to know that your body is not broken. It's not in your head, it's your hormones. And so we kind of have to shift our mindset around our hormones. We think they're the enemy, but we can actually shift our hormones to work with us. So the insulin estrogen connection, when insulin resistance increases, your body is going to give you some signals. And these are signals that we may fob off to something else, right? You may crave sweets more often and be like, well, maybe I'm just under stress. Or you might feel really tired after a meal and you're like, why am I so tired between 10 and 12 or 2 and 4? You might get hangry now, right? Get angry and frustrated and maybe have a little bit of anxiety when you don't eat right or when you don't eat enough. You may have mood swings and anxiety because of the dipping and flipping of your blood sugar. Your labs may change, right? Elevated glucose, triglycerides, total cholesterol, liver enzymes, and other lab values can be affected by this insulin resistance. You could have trouble sleeping because your blood sugar goes up and down and crashes at night. And so just understand that those are things that are telling you, hey, excuse me, we need to change some things. Some things need to shift. And here's the truth. And this may sting just a little bit, but you cannot out willpower your hormones. You cannot out willpower your hormones, but you can work with them. And that's what I was saying earlier, right? And this is where functional medicine can really get under and to the root cause of that symptom. And one of the best ways to rebalance our metabolism is to use food as medicine. So we're going to talk about protein. A lot of women do not get enough protein. But here's the cool thing about protein and healthy fats, but not a lot of healthy fat, just a little bit of healthy fat. We don't need to eat a whole avocado. That's a lot of calories and a lot of fat that we have to handle. But a little bit of healthy fat can help stabilize our blood sugar. Protein stabilizes our blood sugar. And when that happens, our cravings go down and we can maintain muscle mass. And that is the key to menopause metabolism. Muscle mass and metabolism and menopause all go together really well. So simple goal is just to aim for about 20 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. Don't skip meals. You may think intermittent fasting is working for you, and if it is, that's great. There's a few women that it really works for great, but not everyone. Think about eggs, think about Greek yogurt, think about cottage cheese, think about lean protein. I found Clean Simple Eats and I love it. And I am not endorsing that product. I don't get paid by them or anything, but I love Clean Simple Eats. When you prioritize protein, your body can burn energy just digesting it and you stay full longer. This is not about dieting. This is about fueling your body for this new season. And when we talk about fueling our body, it's a mind shift, right? We eat as fuel, just like we gas up our car so that we can go where we want. We fuel our body so we can take our bodies where we want. Another thing that you might consider, and this is something that I do with some clients after I've gotten some labs, right? And labs are off. And with people who've tried a bunch of things and we've walked through a bunch of things, but sometimes we do a protein sparing modified fast. And that can help reset your metabolism. Now, this is not starvation. This is not forever. This is a very short-term strategic way to reset your metabolism. And again, I really, I want to just coach you on this for a minute. This is not something that you really want to approach by yourself because it can be challenging and it can have some other side effects and other symptoms that I really want to make sure that you know how to handle in that time. But when it's done correctly, it's a reset. It is not a lifestyle. The lifestyle follows it, and we find something sustainable for over time. I am not about finding these fad things that can, work for a short time, but it's not something that's sustainable. The goal is to find a sustainable lifetime or lifestyle over a lifetime, right? Yes, there may be some changes. If you want to lose weight, if you have some health goals, then we may need to really shift into high gear for a short period of time. And we can just take that and create something sustainable from it. If that jives with you. I just believe that finding something faddish for a minute or a month or 2 months is not necessarily the best way to roll because eventually you may fall off and then you're just back in that whole hamster wheel of failing and feeling bad about yourself and all of those things. If we can find something that's sustainable, that works with your lifestyle, however busy or not busy you are, whether you're working and having little kids or trying to take care of teenagers and parents at the same time, that was my story. You have to find something that's going to work for you that's sustainable. So this protein sparing modified fast is not something that we do regularly, but it can help you reset your lifestyle. So it's a little bit of the how we can go about shifting our mindset around food, but adding protein to a pretty healthy diet and starting your day with protein can really, really reduce your cravings over time. So if you've been spinning your wheels, these two things really might be the missing pieces. So here's what I tell my midlife clients. Hormones respond not just to what you eat, but how you live. And so here's a couple other pieces that you need to think about. What is your stress level really? You may not be feeling any stress. You may love your high pressure job. However, you may not be getting enough rest. And I don't just mean sleep. I mean 3 minutes out of your day to just sit in your office and breathe. Take a quick walk around the building that you work in, or if you work from home, take a quick walk around your cul-de-sac or something just to relax and reduce your stress during your day, because stress causes increased cortisol, which you probably already know, but that promotes fat storage. And along with higher insulin levels, you really, really are going to put yourself in a place where you're going to store fat. Sleep. Less than 7 hours of sleep will throw off your hunger hormones. Ouch, right? If you're waking up at between 2 and 4 in the morning and you're not even getting close to that 7 hours, that's a new stressor in your body. So those are things that we have to really work towards, is getting this better sleep happening. Sometimes that's the place where I have to start. Like I had to start with Susan. Like she had to sleep better in order to really kick off her metabolism. And strength training. Strength training builds muscle. And I said earlier, right? Muscle, metabolism, those things go together for women. It's super important to build some muscle to improve insulin sensitivity, particularly over 40 years old. And when you combine strength training and a little bit more protein, your body can start to cooperate again, right? And so now our faith and our mindset can start to play a role, right? I mentioned in the beginning, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your physical transformation can begin with that same principle, right? When you shift your thinking from my body is failing me, my body is betraying me to my body needs to adapt to a new season. That's really what this is about. Everything needs to shift, right? This isn't something that you're failing at. This is a new season. We have new seasons. We're in fall right now, right? Winter is coming. And so we have to shift. We have to change our clothes. We have to change our mindset around making sure that the ice is off of our driveway, whatever that might be for you. I live in Tennessee. It's not really that bad. But so just know that this is just a season that you're going through. And menopause is not punishment, right? It's an invitation to really partner with God in new ways. And your body may be changing, but the beauty of God is that he never changes and his promises will not change. So let's see. So if you're listening to me right now thinking, ugh, I've tried everything. Please don't give up. Please don't give up. You may just need some new information. You don't need more guilt. You don't need more shame. You're good at that already, and that can be left at the foot of the cross, right? Start with one step. Increase your protein. Let's just try that, right? Increase your water, increase your protein at the beginning of the day. We want to start our day with protein. If it's one hard-boiled egg, if it's just a couple breakfast sausages, if you're already driving through McDonald's, get rid of the buns on that and eat the egg and the sausage. Don't don't eat so many carbs right first thing in the morning. And that brings me to my next episode where we're going to be talking about the evils of oatmeal, and that's a whole thing, right? So that will help your body manage cortisol levels, insulin levels. It helps manage your body's internal stresses. Now move your body. If you haven't moved, we talked about it last week, start walking. Maybe take 1 pound weights. Maybe grab cans of soup with you and walk with those so that you can start to increase your muscle mass slowly. And then remember that you are renewing your mind. Keep positive things coming in your mind. Maybe you need to do a social media fast, except for maybe my podcast, right? Maybe you need to take a news fast so that you don't have so much negativity coming in. That will give you a little bit more margin to start thinking about the changes that you need to make in your own world, and put aside the things that you may or may not really have any control over. Those small, consistent changes over time can really bring some powerful results. Remember, you are not broken. You are being refined. And we talked about that last week a little tiny bit, right? This midlife transition can be your most vibrant season. You don't have to live in the brain fog and the crazy of menopause. So, if this episode has encouraged you at all, I'm going to ask you to do one favor. Share it, subscribe to it wherever you happen to be hearing it. Share it with a friend who might be navigating the same stage of life, right? You can also find more resources, programs, ways that you can work with me at drkrissargent.com. And remember that God doesn't waste anything, not even your hormones, even when you feel like that might be true. It's probably not. And like I said, next week, we are going to talk about why oatmeal might be wrecking your metabolism. And it's certainly true for menopausal women if we start our day with a load of carbohydrates like that. So until next time, I really want you to find renewed health, right? Renew your mind, renew your body. I want you to root this in truth, not the lies that you might be telling yourself. Put those aside for the time being and be restored by grace. I am so excited to be here in your journey. And if there is any possible way that I can help you, I am excited to do that. Upcoming episodes, we will be talking more about obviously or oatmeal, but cortisol, right? And how that cortisol piece and stress, and how even stresses that you may not even understand are going to affect your life. And we're also going to do some cool pre-season, pre-holiday things throughout the next 10 weeks to help you get through this crazy holiday season, be it relationships, be it meals, be it whatever. We're going to talk about all of those things in the future and how functional medicine can help you work through the next kind of the crazy season that happens over the next 10 weeks. You don't have to lose all of your health gains at this time, but you have a choice. You have a choice to stay where you're at. You have a choice to improve where you're at, or you absolutely have a freedom of choice to just cheat your way through the entire set of holidays. Just know that that's a choice, right? You don't have to conform to the world and just say, this is an impossible time. It doesn't have to be that way. And so I am here to help you again find renewed health, rooted in truth, and restore it by grace. I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for listening today. I appreciate you all. Until next week, bye. You've been listening to Spark Faith with me, Dr. Kris Sargent. This show is about renewed health, rooted in truth, and restored by grace. Tune in every Thursday morning at 9:30 a.m. Pacific on the Transformation Talk Radio for more simple, faith-fueled steps to live the vision God placed in your heart. Are you ready to take the next step? Schedule a discovery call or connect with me at drkrissargent.com. That's DRKRIS Sargent.com. While you're there, download my free ebook, Endless Energy, the 6 non-negotiable keys to endless energy, and sign up for an upcoming masterclass. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share the show, and I'd love to connect with you on social media at Dr. Kris Sargent. Let's keep sparking faith and transformation together. Can't wait to see y'all next time.